Hey guys, so I recently got the incredible chance to visit Japan last week. Well, it was pretty much only Tokyo, but it was still a great time. Over the course of a week, I got to see some incredible places like the temples at Asatsuka and Harajuku, as well as the traditional quarters of Karigoe and the zoo in Ueno Park. However, arguably for a nerd like me, the best place to visit had to be the anime and video game stores in places like Akihabara. Getting to explore stores like the aptly named Pokemon Centers was really cool. Nothing was more fun than walking around department stores and having Pokemon music blast in your ears, making you feel like you were actually in a Pokemon game. However, my favourite stores were the retro video game stores. Despite being some of the most cramped stores I'd ever been in, the selection of games at these shops was incredible, and the prices were so cheap to the point where I realised that what I thought were great eBay deals on used Japanese games was actually kind of a rip-off compared to what I was paying in these stores. Anyway, here are some of the games I was able to grab in Japan. Obviously, my first priority was to plug the hole in my Tales collection, which was the PSP games, so I quickly grabbed the Team Destiny port of Tales of Destiny 2 and Tales of Rebirth. Unfortunately, my Rebirth is a re-release copy which has this awful box art, but besides that, it was really great to be able to grab both of these games. I also grabbed both the Fantasia remake along with the Narakiri Dungeon remake, which also has a Fantasia remake, so I technically bought that twice, but I kind of wanted both versions, so it was okay. I was also able to complete the Radiant Mythology trilogy by grabbing the second and third entries, which we unfortunately never got. Sometime in the distant future, I do plan to go into retrospectives on the entire Tales of the World series of games, seeing as I've already done the original Narakiri Dungeon on the Game Boy Advance. Finally finishing up the PSP games, I was able to get the fighting game spin-off Tales of the Versus. However, I wasn't able to find the Dynasty Warriors game Tales of the Heroes Twin Brave, so I'm still technically missing one of the PSP games. Outside of the Tales games, I also grabbed a physical version of the original God Eater and Valkyria Chronicles 3. I got God Eater because it was basically going for like $8. Meanwhile, I grabbed Valkyria Chronicles 3 because it's my favourite game in the series and I really wanted a physical version of it. Speaking about physical versions, let's talk about the game which almost sent me broke. Now, I love Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, however I could never justify the $400+ price tag on it. Meanwhile, I've always wanted to get my hands on a Japanese GameCube game because I think they're so cool and that they come in these like cardboard sleeves and stuff. So I decided, let's kill two birds with one stone and grab a Japanese copy of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance to complete both my desires. So now at least I have my favourite Fire Emblem game. Lastly, for my final video game pickup, I was able to grab the original Sakura Wars. Now, as you might notice, it's still in the packet, and that's because I don't actually have a Sega Saturn to play this game. I might in the future, but as for now, I just wanted to have this game because it was the game that started one of my favourite series. And that was a brief summary of my trip to Japan, as well as the stuff I was able to grab, so hopefully you can look forward in the future to seeing me review some of these games I was able to grab. In the meantime, I'll see you later.